This Thursday night, we have one of the worst primetime games ever in an epic duel between Mitch Tribisky and the Steelers and Bailey Zappe and the Patriots. And I know you might not know these players' names, or maybe you've heard of them and you think, oh, they're really bad. And the fact is, they are worse than you realize. And in today's video, I'm going to break down why this is one of the worst primetime football games ever. So to start things off, why did they put this game on the schedule? And I don't actually blame them too much. Going into the year, in your head, you think Patriots are going to be at least average. I mean, they have Bill Belichick, and the defense will be solid. So you think the Patriots will be decent, and the Steelers have Mike Tomlin, and they're never bad. So in their head, the worst you could get is two average teams playing, which normally turns into a pretty good game. However, the way this season has turned out, the Patriots have the worst offense in the NFL. They are currently 2-10. There's been talks of firing Bill Belichick, which is crazy, and they're just a whole disaster. In fact, last week they got shut out. And it wasn't an exciting shutout. It was 6-0. It's a terrible game. And to make things even worse for the Patriots offense, they are losing their best weapon of Ramondre Stevenson. So the bad quarterback Zappe won't even be able to just hand the ball off. There's just nothing they can do. I mean, they have Ezekiel Elliott, who's ancient, and several no-name wide receivers. And then on the other side of the ball, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Somehow the record is better than a lot of people would have predicted. They are 7-5. But if you have watched their games, you have no clue how they are 7-5. Their offense has been completely anemic. It hasn't been able to do anything. And while, yes, I know, they got rid of Canada, and then right away they got 400 yards. But then against the Cardinals' bad defense last week, they weren't able to do anything. And the Steelers have only scored above 23 points twice this season. And one of the times was against the Browns, where they got multiple points from the defense. To make things worse, if they can get worse, is their starting quarterback, Kenny Pickett, is injured. He had surgery on his ankle. He's out for this game. And the Patriots quarterback going into the year, Mac Jones, well, he's not it. He's looked very bad. And he's kind of got benched a few times with Bailey Zappe being put in. But Bailey Zappe is equally as bad, so they just kind of keep on flip-flopping between the two terrible quarterbacks, and they get nothing done on offense. So, going into this season, these two teams seem like it could be a decent matchup at this point. But, clearly, they're not anymore. So, can the NFL do anything about it? And the answer is yes. The NFL can flex Thursday night games in between week 13 and 17. So they could if they wanted to, but they had to do it 28 days ahead of time. And this was newly introduced this year, and it had a ton of fan pushback because of how much difficulty it adds to people's travel plans. But, on the one hand, it is good for the fans to go. On the other hand, 16 million people across the country have to watch the Steelers play the Patriots with an over-under of 30.5 points, with the Steelers supposed to win 18-12. And I think 30 points is way too high. There is no way this game goes above 30 points. I wouldn't be surprised if this game doesn't make it to 20. These offenses are just that bad. And if you're thinking, hey, maybe the Steelers-Patriots is just the best game we have this week, well, here is a list of games that I would rather watch than the Steelers-Patriots on Thursday Night Football. Buccaneers-Falcons, Lions-Bears, Colts-Bengals, Jaguars-Browns, Texans-Jets, Rams-Ravens, Vikings-Raiders, Seahawks-49ers, Bills-Chiefs, Broncos-Chargers, Eagles-Cowboys, and that's it. So, there are, 3 or 4 games that I would rather watch the Steelers, I guess. But, that's a tough one. Would you rather watch the Dolphins blow out the Titans or a defensive slugfest in the Steelers versus the Patriots? So, I don't know. But there are good options out there, and this just is not one of them. Okay, so I figure I might as well break down the team some. So first off, the Steelers. As I said earlier, their defense is pretty dynamic. They make, big plays. They score points. They have TJ Watt, who is one of the best players in the league. And they are pretty good. They have only allowed 19 points per game. Solid. Offense on the other side, they score 16 points per game, which is 28th in the league. And, Trubisky doesn't know how to throw a touchdown pass. He's thrown 6 touchdown passes so far this year. And remind you, we are going into week 14. But that doesn't matter because he's not playing with the injury. So we have Mitch Tribisky, who is actually considerably worse than Kenny Pickett, or at least a little bit worse. And I don't even know if the team likes Mitch, because when they asked Najee Harris on Mitch Trubisky's leadership, he said, "It's fine, I guess." And then they followed up and they asked him to describe his leadership style, and he said, "Vocal, I guess." So that's not exactly the inspiring words I want from my team talking about their quarterback. And to get from bad to worse to terrible, Najee Harris, the person I just talked about, is now on the injury report and did not practice on Tuesday. So who knows if he'll even play. But they do have okay wide receivers who are pretty into making drama, but that doesn't matter if your offense never gets into scoring position like the Steelers probably won't. And of course, the Steelers offense goes against the Patriots defense. As I said earlier, the Patriots defense is actually really good. If you combine all of the points the past 3 weeks, the Patriots defense has allowed 26 points. So that was 10, and then 6. Patriots are 0-3 in those games. And then, of course, that means that their Patriots offense has done nothing, and they have scored 13 points the past 3 weeks, going 6, 7, and then 0. So I think it is completely reasonable if this game turns out 3-0. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but the Chargers have a better offense than the Steelers do. I don't think anyone would argue that. The Steelers have a better defense than the Patriots do. I think most people would agree with that. So, by that, the Patriots would still be shut out, and the Steelers would score less than the Chargers did. So, 3-0. Maybe 2-0. I mean, that might be kind of fun if it's 2-0. Might be scoregami, I'm not sure. Haven't looked into it. But I think that would be a really cool score. Boring to watch, boring for fantasy. Unless you have punters in your league, then it might be kind of exciting. But for the normal viewer, this game is going to be very ugly. I almost guarantee you there will be multiple interceptions. There will be endless 3-and-outs. There will be dropped passes and endless punting. And if it does score above 30, the only way I could really see that happening is with 1 or 2 defensive touchdowns. So, in my opinion, Steelers win. Steelers have to win, actually, because they're in the midst of a playoff race with the wild card being neck and neck between several teams. Patriots, on the other hand, are only competing for that number 1 overall pick, which they are second. So, I guess they do need to keep up those losses. But anyways, I think the Steelers will win. I think it's going to be ugly. Maybe 3-0, 10-0. I think my official prediction, 13-3. Steelers win. So, if you enjoy bad football, or just, I guess, any football, and have nothing to do, I guess I'll be watching it with you. But let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you again later.